Hello group. So I have been asked by a couple of members how I am setting up my remote desktop sessions with two scopes. So I have the Raza here and the C14 there. And we'll start in the back of the garage. And right here, I have a switch behind right here. And this switch goes down into my basement into an 8-port switch that goes to my router. So my router is assigning all the IP addresses. From this switch, this cable, this blue cable, is running on the floor to my computer cart. And on the computer cart, I have another switch right here. So this switch has the line from downstairs. This is the gray cable that runs to the Raza. This is to the Lenovo, and then this one runs to my MSI. And my MSI is the master machine. So when we go out here, oops, sorry about that. You'll see I've got a gray CAD cable curled up there. We'll follow that to the Raza. And at the Raza, I have another switch. And here's that gray cable in. And I have a short cable that runs into the Raza mini PC. And then I have a black cable that's coiled up that runs into the mini PC on the C14. So with this setup, I can then control both scopes from my master computer. Now I don't get hung up on the terminology. I just call it master. I could be wrong. And what I'm going to do now is I'll start two sessions. I'm going to fire up remote desktop, and the first machine is going to be the C14. And I'm just going to turn you away so you don't see my password. And boom. This is the machine with the 432, and if we look down here, it says the DS432. So I'm going to shrink this down, this window down, and I'm going to open up another remote desktop. And this one is the Auto Astro A, and this is the Raza. And I'm just going to turn you away so you don't see my password. And if I did it right, it will boot. And this machine has the DS26 and the AG 1.2. And there they are. So if I fire up Mellencamp Sky, there's the DS26. And you can see it's working. I'll just drop the gain and it will. We're looking into trees at the moment. And I'll stop this and we'll go to the AG 1.2. And there's those trees again. So that is the Raza machine. I will shrink this down and then I will open up the C14 and Mellencamp Sky, and there's the 432. And boom, got way too much everything with the 432, so I'll just drop the gain down and the exposure, and you can see that it's working. I think it was working. I just did a bunch of rewiring here, so I might have to rejigger things. Oh, I know what it is. Let me just go change that real fast. Okay, that is safely removed. And I hooked that thing again. That was made for me. The games we have to play with Millennium cameras. So each mini PC has all the software on it that it needs to do a remote session. That's, let's see, there it is. It's booted back up. There we go. It's looking off into some pretty dark trees here, so they'll be all fuzzed out. And I will show you that. I'll stop this. So on the C14, I have the PoleMaster, I've got the CPWI, I've got my focus controller, I've got Stellarium, I've got PhD2, and I also have Millennium Sky, Sky Plate Solver, and my Ailes collimation aid. So that's all I need to do EAA on this rig. On the other rig, this can go to one of two ways. I have my USB controller, which allows me to turn on and off ports and monitor the USB voltage. Then I have CPWI, I have Stellarium, I have Backyard EOS for my Canon 5D. I also have Nina, which I could use with the Canon 5D. Nina does not work with the Millenniums. CCD Seal, I think it's pronounced, supposedly works with Millenniums, but I just don't like the interface. It drives me nuts. All Sky Plate Solver. I have Sky Tracker on here. I've got Millennium Sky if I want to do a broadcast, and PhD 2. And what's nice about this setup is none of these remote machines are streaming. The streamer is this machine. So the only hard thing that this machine has to do is either record a session or stream a session or do both. It doesn't have to worry about any cameras. It doesn't have to worry about scopes, planetarium software. And what that does is it really makes this machine a lot more enjoyable. And this is not a weak puppy, but I run with so many programs open that I have found that I needed to rethink how I handled talking to the scopes and doing my streams. So I hope that this gives you a better idea of how I'm handling my remote setup. Now, if I didn't have the internet and I didn't start at this switch, which is doing my DHCP address spacing, what I could do is just work with the switch on the cart and the switch that's at the Raza. And then I can assign each device an IP address, a different IP address. And then I would make sure that they're all on the same work group, the same subnet mask, the same gateway. And as long as you've got that done, then any of these machines can find each other. And for people that don't wish to be on the worldwide wait, that's the way you can do it. And how you would do that is you go into settings, your network, and I wouldn't do Wi-Fi. I would always try to do Ethernet. Ethernet's going to be the fastest route. Oops, I did not want that. You'd go to your change adapters. You'd right click on the Ethernet, go to properties, and right here on TCP/IP4, if you double click on it, you can, I'll just move in a little bit, you can obtain IPs automatically, which is what I'm doing because I'm using my router to assign IPs. Or you can click on this, and then you can put in your IP, and you can put in your subnet mask and your default gateway. And you would do that for each machine, and each machine would have a different IP. So it'd be like 192.168.0.20. The next machine would be 21. The next machine would be 22, so on and so forth. So I hope that helps everyone. It is a beautiful little setup when it's working right. I no longer have to spend a small fortune buying USB active cables that cost 120 bucks a crack. You can buy a 1,000-foot roll of CAD5 cable, which is plenty good enough for remote desktop, for 100 bucks at Home Depot. And I already owned the crimpers and a bunch of ends from, because I make my own cables. And it's not hard to make your own cables. That's what I would recommend you do. That way you can buy in bulk and keep your costs in line. And if you destroy a CAD5 cable, who cares? It's cheap. And the other nice thing is you can go up to I think it's 300 feet with a CAD5 cable. And if you need to go farther, there's fiber, or you just throw a switch at the end and that'll boost the signal to go another 300 feet. So I hope that all helps you out, and we'll see you in the group.